Hello, welcome to another episode of The Culture Communique. I'm your girl, Ashnell, and this is the podcast where culture meets the moment, and the moment is you, baby. Yeah, it's you. So, we're on episode 3 now. Kudos to me. And this episode is called The Beauty of the Struggle, Creativity, Authenticity, and the Costs of Convenience. So, in this episode, we're going to be exploring how modern culture prioritizes aesthetics over authenticity, from creativity to personal style to work. We'll discuss the lost art of looking like you're trying, the beauty of the process over polished results, and how social media and capitalism has stripped away creativity at the core. Plus, we're going to do a deep dive into community, the evolving meaning of luxury, and what the job market is doing to us that is like so bad to the point that, you might as well follow your dreams. So getting into it, we're going to be doing a cultural recap. So for the past couple of months, at the top of the year, it's always award season, the Grammys, the this, the that, da-da-da. So, let's get into it. So, Essence had their Black Women in Hollywood event that was on February 27. The BAFTA Film Awards happened. The MOBO Awards happened. And I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but that is a UK awards called Music of Black Origin. And the Screen Actors Guild Award, and then there's the Tony Awards and the Emmy Awards that are coming up soon. But overall, like in the awards season, I feel like, since Wicked came out, we were just thinking that Wicked was going to like do a sweep of a lot of things, but they didn't really win that much, which was very interesting. But there were a lot of like wins for that movie. I think it was called like Honora, and then this other movie with I forget that lady's name, but she's Dominican, but that whole I Know Black thing. But yeah, that movie won a lot. Also, it was like very problematic for her because I think during the Oscars, I'm totally blanking on that lady's name, but anyways, she won for Best Actress, I believe, and there were like questions from the press about the community of Mexico, and she basically was like, it was not about Mexico, I don't care, I won. This is about me and my win and what the movie was about, which is like me. And yeah, that was very interesting for her to say. But overall, I feel like the award season, Cynthia Erivo, she looked fabulous for a lot of the red carpets. I feel like a lot of celebrities did a really good job on the red carpet, and any people that were like changing, they looked really good. But some of my favorite looks were from Halle Berry at the Oscars. Her red carpet look and her what was it called, the after party look for Vanity Fair looked amazing. Like she ate that. Like she really ate. And I feel like usually, not that she doesn't look good, but she's just like dresses nice, but like she looked like really, really good this time. And also with Megan Thee Stallion's after party look, like she looked really great to me, and she was like wearing this like very like green dress and it had like feathers. And it was a little risque because, she had her tits out, basically. And she just wore, like, pasties over her nipples, which was cute to me because I was just, like, I immediately thought of, like, Lil' Kim, like, the MTV Video Music Awards. And, on daytime TV, the Sherry show, she was, like, talking about how it was problematic for her. She felt like she needed to put on her auntie hat, as she stated, and basically like tell Megan that she should dress more appropriately because she's a role model and all these other things. And I didn't really like that because I'm just like, Megan Thee Stallion is an artist, period, and artists should be allowed to, you know, do what they want to do in terms of like, you know, she's not hurting anybody, she's not doing anything that's like majorly outrageous. And I feel like there's so many other people that are literally like, what's what's her name, Bianca, Kanye West's wife or ex-wife, I don't even know if they're together anymore, I don't know. She wore like she wore hopes and dreams basically to, what was it, the Grammys, and nobody said anything about that. What's her name? Charlie XCX. She wore like some sheer something to some award show. I forgot what it was. Where her nipples out. Nobody said anything about that. But when it comes to Black women, I feel like people always want to censor us. People always want to say something about how we should look, what we should wear, and like how much of, you know, we're role models and this is that. And it's like a lot of pressure to put on people because at the end of the day, they're just people. And the same thing happened with like Rihanna when she came out. She was like, bitch, don't have your kids look up to me because no. And I agree with that. It's just like, what? Like, they're just people. But yeah, that was interesting. But overall, outside of the award season, Paris Fashion Week happened a few weeks ago, and Doechii, she won. She won everything. Like, there was no awards given, but she won because of just like how fantastic she looked, how present she was at everything she performed and modeled at the D Square fashion show and with JT. And yeah, she just ate. Like, I love the look that she wore. It was a reference to Naomi Campbell's look from D Squared in like the late 90s, early 2000s. And yeah, like, I feel like in my eyes, like, Doechii can't do no wrong, which is like, I don't want to put that pressure on her, but it's just like, she just such a real person. Like, even when she's like cursing people out online, because all of a sudden now people are talking about when she performed at the Grammys that she wasn't really singing and like really speaking, or like, it was just like a track that she was, mouthing over. And I'm just like, why do y'all always have to hate on the dark-skinned women? Like, I hate that so much. Like, it's just so played out, and it's tiring. But anyway, she's still winning. She's still coming up on top. She just recently did a Hot Ones episode with her friend and DJ slash, you know, homegirl. And yeah, I'm proud of her. You keep doing you, boo. Fuck them haters. Yeah. But moving on into the main segment, we are going to be breaking down these topics. So, regarding creativity and being in love with the process, I feel like we have kind of like lost our way. I feel like a lot of people are very into being polished in their creativity instead of like showing that they're trying. Like, they want to show you the end product rather than like the process of it all. And I don't like that. I feel like there's just way more fun in and beauty in the process. Like, I feel like back in the day, like when I was in high school, well, let me not say back in the day, I sound old, but you know, when I was in high school, you know, Tumblr was a thing. Like, people did blogs, people, you know, were on the street. Like, if you wanted to be a photographer, people used to go to Soho and like take pictures and create portfolios and this, that, and the third. And I feel like now it's like, if you say you want to do something, you have to like be it right now. You have to be like, you know, on the cover of Vogue like tomorrow. And I'm just like, it's too much. Like, I feel like there's just a lot of instances where people are, one, comparing themselves to people that are already in their journey, like already like professionals. So they feel like pressured to, you know, just be already there. Two, I feel like when it comes to community, I feel like we don't have a lot of that anymore in the creative space. Like, there's a lot of like organizations, a lot of like things like that. And even in that sense, it's a little problematic too, because it's just a little too official, if that makes sense. Like when I think about creative communities, I'm thinking about like, back like when Basquiat and Fab Five Freddy and like that group, like those creatives, they were just like going out and just doing their own thing like when they wanted to. There was no like major structure of, oh, we have to do this at this day and this time. And like, yes, it goes to show like there is a sense of, respect for the craft when you are a little more structured, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like it's just a little too constructed, too like perfect. And there's beauty in like when things just happen. And like, a lot of people, I feel like, that are really successful in their creativity are the people that have happened upon things. And the way that you can do that is just by, showing up as your best self every day, like allowing yourself to try different things and be in different communities and not be like so hard on yourself. But yeah, I read a Substack that like spoke to this. It was called the cost of convenience. We have fallen out of love with the process. And yeah, it was basically talking about how social media and the capitalist demand have destroyed the beauty of the process. And there's like so much truth in that, because I feel like a lot of people obviously, want to make money from their creativity, from their art, which is valid. But there's just a there's just a thing where you have to realize as an artist, like, it's not going to happen as quickly as you think it's going to happen. Like a lot of artists in general, like painters, sculptors, whatever, a lot of them don't get recognition until like, they're dead. And not saying that has to happen for you. Like, obviously I always want people, like, we should always be rooting for people to get their flowers right now. So they can see the fruits of their labor and like, all those things, and like actually have like a living wage. But also there's just a thing of like knowing that you have to, you're not going to be like living on like escargot and like champagne and all these other things. Like, not necessarily, but like I hope it happens for you, but like, I feel like people have to be a little more receptive to the possibilities of the thing, if that makes sense. And also like to that, like when it comes to personal style, especially like people that consider themselves to be fashionable people, like there's just such a pressure for people to wear designer all the time. And I feel like we have lost the way when it comes to people that can actually dress. Like, people are like too caught up in the names, the this, the that, like what's the latest this, da 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 da. And like, yes, like I'm a person that loves fashion. Like, I'm aware of like, fashion weeks and this, that, and the third, whatever, da da da. But to me, someone that is stylish is not someone that necessarily has all of the designer things or like the latest this or the latest that. It's about how you put it together. It's about how you pair your items, how you rock it. Like, when people say it's not on you, it's in you. It's really about the vibe that you bring, who you are as a person, rather than the clothes that you're wearing that makes the outfit pop. So, for instance, like when I was in middle school and high school, to me, the girls that were like fly, whatever, were not the people that were like wearing designer or whatever. It was, the people that were like wearing tops from like Rainbow, Conway, whatever. But they were, just putting it together. Like, I don't know, like putting it on like with some like Nike, whatever the hell, sneakers. some stuff from like H&M or Forever 21, because those were like the stores that we were really interested in when we were younger. And like now I just feel like everyone is just like Mew Mew this, D squared that, da 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 da. And it's great to see that people are more interested in fashion in that sense, but it doesn't necessarily make you a great stylish person, if that, if you catch my drift. And then also to that effect, when it comes to style, I feel like a lot of people have an outer persona that they portray, but their personality is trash. There's nothing there. And it's just like, wow, like I thought that you were this, but you're not giving that in real, like, to my face. Like, I don't know, like, there's just so many, like, there's like a disconnect. And I'm not saying that you have to be one way, or like you have to be this person that you are portraying through your clothes, but it's like, because people are multifaceted. So obviously, and you could be having a good day, a bad day, whatever. But if you're like, for instance, if you're wearing a rock band t-shirt and it's a very like niche band or something, I'm expecting you to like, not necessarily know that specific band, but like maybe be interested in like that genre. You know what I mean? Like have some knowledge of that genre or whatever. Or, I don't know. Like it's just like, if you get it, you get it. Like there's just like a lack of character behind the clothing. And I hate to see it. Like, I really hate to see it, because it's just like, dang. Like, I feel like people are putting too much faith in their clothing to speak for them, rather than matching that level. Like, before you speak to someone, obviously, they say like, don't judge a book by its cover, but that's what we do every day. Like we look at someone, we see their energy, their vibe through their clothes, the way they walk, the way they present themselves. And we can make, come to a conclusion about how we think that person is. And once that person starts to talking and stuff, and it's just like, oh, like you're not really meeting that vibe. Like you're not really, it's not aligning. Like there is a disconnect. And I feel like people should take a little more time when it comes to their character development and try to be more interesting in that sense. Like you have on this like so many different designer or whatever, but like you don't do anything with your life. Like you didn't find that shirt in Tokyo or something, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's no story. Nothing is interesting about it. Like, I don't know, like it's like you buy everything online or something, or like, I don't know. I'm just a little underwhelmed when it comes to certain instances where this happens. It's just like, I just want people to do better. But yeah, like that is really the crux of it. And lastly, I want to say regarding this topic is I feel like when it comes to creating, there is such a big pressure of the final result rather than the process. And it's really hindering the actual product, because if you're rushing something, like it's not about the final product being finished. Like when you think about whether it's like an art piece, music, an outfit, whatever the thing that you're creating is, it's not about making it perfect. It's about just doing it. It's about putting it out there. It's about having a thought of doing something and doing it and then sharing it with the world, being vulnerable, rather than like, oh, I want to put this thing out there and get like 10K likes or something, or whatever the case may be, or I want to get a brand deal or whatever the case. Like, all of those things are a positive outcome because you decided to do the thing, rather than having the positive outcome be at the forefront of your mind while you're creating the thing, because that hinders the actual product being more genuine, you know? Anyways, yeah, moving on. I feel like, what do I want to talk about? Oh, the cost of luxury. Now, I know we are in an age where people are loving, luxury, getting these appointments done, the nails, the this, whatever, the lashes, and, you deserve it. Do your thing. I feel you. But I feel like there is a disconnect when it comes to like luxury and the actual like quality of the thing. Like if it's a product, a service, whatever, especially when it comes to braiders and hair and stuff, I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna get on you, because I'm a girl that loves some braids. I'm taking a break right now because it's wintertime. I don't really do that many braids. I like my hair to breathe and take a break. But springtime, about to get back into it. But yeah, I feel like when it comes to professionals that have luxury services, they say that it's luxury, but it's not giving that at all. They want to charge you luxury prices for sure, but the actual service or product or whatever is not giving that. And that's my problem. I'm not really understanding where, I feel like a lot of people have a lot of gumption when it comes to these things. And it's up to us to stop, going to these people and, giving them so much, nerve to do this. Because it's we're, a lot of these people that are doing services, especially when it comes to hair, don't even have, they are not even certified. People are out here doing nails, have no certification, doing lashes, have no certification, have what? And then you want to charge over the market value for the thing because you want to go on vacation every month or every other month. A lot of these, service providers want to be celebrity or whatever, and I have no problem with you wanting more for yourself. That's fine. But at the cost of what? And especially when you don't even do your job well. There's too many instances where people are getting their services done and it's not being done well. Or especially when you get the hey boo text, there's just a lot of issues before you even get to the actual appointment. I don't have that problem, thank God, with my hair braider. But yeah, it's just there's just too much going on, man. And this has been happening for a very long time when it comes to especially hair braiders and other hairstylists. The hey boo text, coming in late, having a website where you have to book online, and then there's so many rules and regulations. Some people are asking you to come to your hair appointment with your hair washed already, detangled already. They basically want you to do your hair and come to the appointment, and they just do the final touches and then charge you upwards of $250 to do nothing. And that's crazy to me. That's crazy. A lot of hair braiders are not even providing hair. What's up with that? What's going on, man? I'm not really understanding. We're losing too many recipes, and it's because we want, and I'm speaking from experience as well, as when it comes to these fun, interesting, intricate hairstyles or just nail designs or whatever the case may be. So we go to these people who just learn how to do those things, but they don't know how to do like the basics, like the prerequisites of them all. And they believe because these items are like trending, the services are trending, they're like, oh, since everybody wants XYZ style, I'm gonna charge you, 20-30% more than what it's normally charged for because you want this. And it's like, it's not really how that works. But because people have a desire to get those services done, you're more willing to just get it done anyway and like pay whatever for the luxury service. And nothing about the service is luxury. Like, they didn't even wash your hair. They didn't even do nail prep when they put on the nail for you, the pre nail. Some people aren't even buying the proper materials to do the thing. Like, you go into the shop, it's dirty. You go into the shop, your appointment was at 11 a.m. and somebody's in the chair. They're still doing. And it's not like, oh, they're going to be done in the next 5 minutes. It's like you're waiting a whole hour for them to be done. People are overbooking themselves. People are doing so much. And it's just like, why do we have to suffer, huh? What's going on? What's happening, man? But yeah, I just feel like, especially when it comes to us as clients, we like the aesthetics of it all. When it comes to like either the final product or the actual place that we're going to, it may look cute, it may like give you the vibe or whatever, but if the outcome isn't good, don't even like, after that first time, don't even go back, like, please. And there's a lot, like, there was this story recently in the UK where there was a hairstylist. There was a hairstylist that was doing a service for a client, and the client came, and it was like really cold in the hairstylist's apartment. First of all, red flag number one. Why are you doing your hair? Why are you doing people's hair in your apartment? Like, I just feel like, especially in modern days, like, you can book a studio. There are studios, and I understand like it is another cost or whatever, but like it's a little iffy sometimes when it comes to those type of situations. Like, I get it, like, get it how you live. Like, if you gotta do it in your apartment, like, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I feel like when you have a studio, if you have the ability to do so, like, you should, because it's just a little more professional, and like you can just house everything in one place rather than like all of your, professional things in one place, rather than having like your living situation and your business in the same space, and people have to go there to your apartment. It's also safer for you, rather than people knowing where you live. Like, that's a little weird. But anyways, so the client went to the hairstylist apartment to get her, I think it was like a weave or something. It was like one of those. And the client was, I think, like around like halfway done with her hair. So she had like this much hair left to do. And she was just like, oh, like, it's kind of cold in here. Like, can you turn on the heat? So she said that to the hairstylist. And the hairstylist was basically, basically was like, you know what? Get out. She literally got so defensive with the girl. She was just like, what's the problem? Like, you should have came here. What she said something like, you should have came prepared or something like that. I was like, how does a girl prepare for your apartment to be cold? Like, how does that work? You should have been prepared with a space heater if you already knew like your heat wasn't working or something. And she was telling her, she was like, yeah, my heat isn't working or something, like, deal with it. And the girl was like, I think she was like getting prepared to deal with it with like putting on her jacket or something. And the hairstylist was like, you know what? I can't do it. I can't do it. She was like, you need to leave. And I was just like, wow, like, people really be tweaking. And to me, it's not even the fact that you did that is mainly because of the fallout from that situation. I'm just thinking, like, how do you think this is going to go? With social media being so prevalent and everything, like, obviously there's still going to be people that go to her, but I don't know, like, it's she's going to feel the sting of it for a while. And I'm just like, there's really hairstylists out there that are doing that. And like, even like I think just the other day I saw another TikTok where a girl was getting her hair done by a male hairstylist, and she got there and she was supposed to get a wig put on. So all the guy literally did was, like, I think braid down her hair and then put the wig cap on. And then he was like, oh, I have to go pick up my girlfriend or something. Da, 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 da. Why the guy left the girl in the chair? I'm assuming, like, she said, that's fine, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she's assuming, like, oh, maybe it'll take 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes max. He left her in that chair, in that studio for an hour with no updates, no ETA, no nothing, not even a snack, not even something to watch on the TV. Silent. I was just like, what's happening right now? Like, what is actually going on? And it's saddening to me, because it's just like, back in the days, like, the old school hairstylists would never, like, there would be things going on, like, they would do stuff, I feel like, but it would never be, like, to this extent. Like, when I used to get my hair done, when I used to, like, have a perm, and, like, I got my blowouts, my retouches, whatever, I had a hairstylist she had kids, and she would pick up her kids from time to time while getting my hair done, but I don't remember her doing it herself. Like, she would get somebody else to do it, and, like, her kids would come, and she would, like, oh, give me 5 seconds, mommy. Like, I'm gonna give them their snack right quick, and I'll be right back. And that took, like, 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes tops. And I understand, because I'm like, her kids are here, so it's not like, she's going outside or whatever. She would just literally go to the corner store right there, right at the corner, get them something, and bring it right back. And, easy peasy. But these days, people want to, like, you give people an inch, they take a mile. They be like, oh, be right back. I got to take a flight to Cancun and like, what's happening? But anyways, yeah, it's so crazy. But yeah, second to last, I wanted to talk about, the job market. The job market is so crazy right now. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but, like, I'm a freelancer. I do, like, freelance PR and writing. So for me, I do want a full-time role. Well, first of all, I love freelancing. It's cool. It's fun. I like what I do. I get to choose who I work with, how long I want to work with them, my fees, whatever. Everything is on my time. But there are there are some downsides. But ultimately, right now, I would love a full-time role, but I feel like a lot of places aren't really hiring full-time. They love contract. They love anything like freelance contract. They love that. Even though they post a role for full-time, they'll be like, oh, let's start freelance and, like, see how it goes, whatever, da, da, da. But yeah, like, that's just the era that I'm in right now. But I'm definitely still looking for a full-time role, with benefits and, ET and other things, et cetera, et cetera. But the job market is just so trash. Like, there's a point, it comes to a point where the amount of jobs that you're applying to are aligning with the interviews that you're getting, and then, like, sealing the deal. And anytime that I, like, go on these interviews, I'm just like, it's always like, oh, we loved you, da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, so hire me. Like, what's going on? Like, what's the actual problem? Like, and I always ask feedback, and they'll say something along the lines of, like, oh, there was just somebody else that had a little more experience or whatever the case may be, or, just something that doesn't really make it just sounds frivolous. It just sounds like, if you loved me, if you loved my experience, if you believe that, I'm a good candidate, then what is the actual problem? But in the job market, it's just like, there's no real way to know why people didn't choose you, because, well, first of all, that's even if they get back to you, because a lot of these people, they like to ghost. They like to ghost you. Like, you do the interview, sometimes they don't even get back to you. I remember one time I did an interview, they got back to me like 3 months later. I was just like, what was the reason of you saying anything? You could have kept that to yourself. Like, I already knew I didn't get the job. They were like, oh, we love you, so sorry for the delay. I was like, baby, please. Like, it's actually fine. Well, it's not fine, but whatever. But yeah, it's just like, there's a point where you just have to take things into your own hands and start doing the things that you have control over. And that's where I'm at right now. Like, I'm focused on creating my own opportunities, doing things for myself, developing myself, and working with people that help me and I can help them. And I'm really happy about it. Like, I feel like even in this podcast right now, like, I have gotten to a place where I'm just like, I'm gonna just do it. Like, I'm gonna just do it. Like, I didn't really, and even when I think about the podcast, like, I thought about it, like, I had an idea about it for a while, but I didn't really like flesh it out until like a couple of weeks before I started the first episode. And for me, I'm just like, if I think about it too much, it's not going to happen. And I'm just like, I just need to do it. And then, focus on the minor details later. Because when it comes to creating something, it's mainly like, if you focus on it being perfect, you're never gonna get it done. You're never gonna get it done, because you're gonna be tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it until you can't tweak no more. Like, and then like, next thing you know, 5 years have passed and it's just like, oh, like, I didn't start this thing. When it just once you get over that hurdle of just starting something, it's so much easier. It's so much, I don't know. You just feel like a weight off of your shoulders. Like, every single time I start something and I'm just like, oh, let me just put it out there, I'm just like, finally, I feel like I finally breathe. But anyway, there is, and I feel like for a lot of people, a lot of my peers too right now, I feel like we're all just getting to a place where we are doing exactly what we want to do. Because in this job market, it's just like, people want you to not only do your job, but they want you to do 3 other jobs. It's like, I'll apply for like a publicist role, but like publicist and social media manager. And I'm just like, and, it's not that big of a deal, but then the salary is giving, half of one job, not even like the full salary of one of those jobs. So I'm just like, what? You got to have 10 years of experience to make $40K, no benefits, and you have the job title of 2 people. It's not making sense. It's not making sense. So a lot of people are just creating their own things, doing it how they want to do it, collaborating with their communities, and yeah, they're not taking no bullshit. Like, we are so sick of the BS, and we literally all just collectively said, fuck it. I'm gonna just do it on my own. I'm gonna just do my own thing. And I love that for us. I love the fact that we're not subjugating ourselves to the BS of the workforce, because there are just a lot of things where we basically have seen our parents go through it, where they have been undervalued, where they haven't been compensated properly. And we're just like, actually, no, I know my value. And I'm not, there's no shit. Like, you know, our parents did our best. They did their best. Our parents did their best. And they really just, a lot of, you know, our parents, well, my parents are migrants, whatever. They really were focused on just making a living. You know, a lot of our parents, they had 2-3 kids by our age. And we're childless, we're hungry, we have ambition, a lot of us have degrees, a lot of experience, and we are willing to take the risk because we don't have a lot of factors that will hinder us from doing so. So, I say all that to say, follow your dreams, do you, boo. You got it. It's all in you. Like, I believe in you. Like, do it. Like, if you have something on your spirit, on your heart, and you're thinking about, like, what if, but I'm not good enough. Yes, you are. I don't have the resources. Work with what you got. But no, you don't. Just use what you got. But what if it doesn't come out right? That's fine. But people will look at me funny. Nobody's looking at you, I promise. Nobody's looking, nobody cares. Even if you're making like content for social media and you're just like, but I don't have any followers, it's okay. Hey, I could be a follower and it's me. I'll follow you. It doesn't like all you need is yourself. Like literally think about how you're making things and just like make it for you. Don't think about anybody else. Don't think about how people are going to receive it. If you like it, that's all that matters. If you think it's relevant, it's relevant. If you think it's important, it's important. Put it out there. Yeah, I think that's it really for this episode. I'm so proud of myself for making it a little shorter because I've had a couple of complaints saying that the episodes were too long, and I hear y'all. But I'm gonna wrap it up, and I want to say thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for taking the time to listen and hear me yap about another series of events and topics. But yeah, I just want to say follow me on social media. My Instagram handle is multimedia babe on Instagram. Follow the Culture Communique on Instagram as well. If you want to follow me, follow me on Substack. Actually, subscribe to my Substack. I have a newsletter as well, in addition to the podcast. So with the newsletter, I post about 2 to 3 newsletters a week, and that's through Substack. So if you go to the Culture Communique on Substack, you will see it there. Follow me, subscribe, and you'll also, when you subscribe, you will head to the chat and you can insert yourself into the chat room where I just dump a lot of like random thoughts and other things throughout the week. And yeah, tell me how you like this episode. Tell me how you like the newsletter. Interact, like, subscribe, share, follow, do all of the things. And if you have any suggestions for topics, let me know. Also, if you are a creative, tastemaker, professional, so on and so forth, and you would like to be a guest on the show, hit me up on social media. So thank you all for tuning in. I've been thinking about calling you all like culture cuties, the community. I think that's what I'm gonna call y'all. thank you, culture cuties, for tuning in. And yeah, check out the latest episode on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and on Substack.